So we got Sheila online. Welcome, Sheila. We're gonna get
Hello.
started here. So Sheila, the questions you can't see, let me see. I'll type them up in our chat. I think there's a way to put questions on here too. Yeah, that's too complicated for me right now. I'll
All
just
good,
type
all
them
good. I
on.
can just listen in or yeah, I'll catch up. Don't worry.
Okay. I don't know if you can you hear me okay, Sheila?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, it's down pretty low. Maybe it's off the TV, it's low. What do we got? Oh, that's at max. All right. So the questions we have on here is what is your goal for 2026? So just what's your financial goal for 2026? In the first quarter in the 90 days, next 90 days, what do you plan to make? Number two is why is this goal important to you? Number three is what challenges are you concerned about in achieving that goal? And then four is going to be where do you plan to get your business? And we're going to discuss all four of those. The financial goal can be kept to yourself, but the other questions we're going to discuss as a group here. So let's see if there's a sound here. How's everybody doing today? Good. Excited to have you guys in here. We got the speaker. Let's see, operating TV. Sheila, do you mind just speaking just so we can hear you on the TV? See how loud that is?
Yeah, I'm right here. I wrote down the questions. Thank you.
Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so if everybody would just take a few minutes, really think especially on why the goal is important to you, what challenges are you concerned about in achieving that goal, and then where do you plan to get your business? Try to do what you can, and you could even start a whole new page for where do you plan to get your business and just start writing ideas down. What you'll find out in these mastermind meetings, as we're just speaking out loud, is when everybody works together in harmony, like no judgment, no nothing, just we're all working towards the same goal, you start tapping into this extra energy, whatever you want to call it, right? And ideas are going to start coming to you as we have these discussions. So this was a concept that Henry Ford did, that Andrew Carnegie did, and they picked a problem or whatever the issue or the problem was, and they all worked together. And the best was when you have men and women together, because we all know women are a lot smarter than us men, right? And so we want to steal your ideas, right? But there's when everybody's working together in harmony and there's no jealousy, there's no greed, there's no envy, right? Like we're all working in that same right space. You're going to be amazed at some of the solutions you start discovering and what you start tapping into. So that's our goal today. So, and we wanted to do this in true mastermind form where we take the time to do these questions and feel free to add to it as you hear things and ideas start coming to you. That's somebody that's tapping in and the ideas are coming to you. So then you want to write the ideas down. And then eventually, after you figure out, like, okay, what are the most important ideas, circle them. And then you want to come up with a plan, right? So these are the steps. It's taking the time to think, it's taking the time in your day to create like this habit is very important. And you'll see how powerful it is, especially when we all come together like this and work together. And then after you have your idea, then it's like, okay, what steps to accomplish that goal, whatever that idea is. And then you have to take action. And that's critical, right? So you write in your goals every day. Like one of the goals I wrote was to grow my relationship and spirituality. My mom was, in the emergency room at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm getting concerned because she's talking about her chest pain, her neck pain. She's okay, but this was on Sunday night, right after what happened to Bernard. And so one of the things she's been wanting me to do is get confirmed in the Catholic Church. And she's like, "Can you just do it?" And I just kept pushing it off. Well, that's the first thought that went into my mind, like, God, please don't take her, number one, right? And then I, at 2 a.m., looked online to see when the confirmation classes start. I signed up for it at 2 a.m. in the morning, reached out, and it was yesterday. So I showed up yesterday, and I'm not bragging about this. I'm just saying it's when you start writing goals down and ideas come to you and opportunities come, it's this is the difference between people who are successful and people who aren't. When you're very clear about what you want, you got to write it down. You got to be definite. You got to believe it. The faith is already there. I wrote it on the back of this, and I said it before that no one is ready to receive until they believe. And what that means is everybody says they want things. But if you doubt it, if you don't have full faith that you are going to receive these things, it's the key ingredient. It's why it's talked about in Think and Grow Rich, a whole chapter on faith. And he says, let's be very clear, this isn't about promoting religion. He's like, I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you faith is an essential quality to being successful. Now, there's plenty of people who are in religion who claim to have faith and they don't really understand what that means, right? They don't understand how to pray. When they pray, it's like what I did at 2 in the morning. It's like, okay, God, please just don't do this. That's not how you're supposed to pray. It's not supposed to be based out of fear. You're supposed to pray or have faith that what you believe is going to happen, and you're already acting as if it's already happening. So when you write your goal down, you already know this isn't about, well, I've never achieved this goal before. I've never made this amount of money. The very first time I did this with the top agent who had never broken 300,000, she was always around 250 for 30 years. Top agent. We set a goal and she thought I was crazy. I finally got her to say 600,000 and she's like, I've never done like this is stupid. I said, you got to believe it. I said, write it down. I said, actually, let's make it 700. She was like, you're crazy. Well, I had all her numbers and I saw what her average commission was. And I saw all these things and I just showed her. I said, you can do the same amount of business and charge 2.5%, what is pretty customary, and you're a top agent and you'll make an extra $90,000. And she was blown away. She's like, are you kidding me? I said, no. I said, and that's you charging what everybody else, I don't want to say should be, but is charging, right? One adjustment, same exact amount of business, stay consistent at your 2.5, and now you're up $90,000. Huge difference, much closer to her goal. And so that year she hit 400,000. The next year she hit 600,000. She never quite hit seven, but she paid off her house in Westlake. She's done consistently 5+ since then. And it just took us sitting down after that year. That was the first step. I'm not trying to take credit for it. It's where it starts.
Yeah.
Don't get into how are you going to do this? What is your goal? What is it? What is it in the first quarter? But more importantly, what's the big goal? Why is that goal important to you? You have to put a definitive date on there. Don't just say, I want to make X amount of dollars. The amount of money has to be specific. The date has to be specific. For me, a lot of my goals that I started writing all ended on the day that I got the news on Bernard, right? 12/21/27. That's a significant date for me. Things that I have not done up until this point will be done by that date, right? And I know it and I'm committed to it. And I don't even need to tell everybody about it. I can share it with certain people that I know have my back through and through. And I trust everybody here. But in the real world, they always say, oh, declare it. You don't always want to declare it because there's a lot of people who will say negative to you or get you to doubt it or start, and they're not always the best sources. So sometimes you have to keep certain goals very close to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But this is such a critical part as we start the new year. This isn't just your regular, oh, what are your goals? How many prospects and contacts you? We're not talking about this. We're going to talk about exactly what works, what I know works firsthand. I've done it, I've been taught it, and I keep doing it over and over and over. And it's the reason why no matter how low the bank accounts get, no matter how low the business gets, sometimes, I know this sounds sick, but I look forward to that. Why would I look forward to that?
Did you work harder than ever?
Absolutely. It's when my back's up against the wall, you better not get in my way, right? I know things are going to happen because I know that knowing, that definiteness, that absolute, that's the difference. It's not wishing, it's not hoping, It's definite. It's gonna happen. This is why it's gonna happen. That why is so critical. And it's not just the what everybody wants to hear, but whatever that why is for you has to be the reason why when you wake up in the morning, you're ready to execute through the day. And then what does your plan look like, right? How detailed is your plan? And I was reading the book that Bernard wrote, and I'm gonna keep referencing that book because it's already helping me remind me of things. And I read it to Ken. And he was like, "How cool is this?" And he said, "I had this roommate when I was 18 years old who had a detailed journal of at 6 a.m. I'm gonna wake up. 6:30, I'm gonna brush my teeth. 8 o'clock, I'm gonna go have breakfast at Monty's. 8 or at 9 o'clock, Physiology 101. And we're 18 years old. And that's what I had in my journal. And I had every time of every activity of what literally I was going to do. And he writes about it. And he's like, it's no, it's no coincidence. He's like, I thought he was crazy. He's like, he was in the shower. We're roommates. He's in the shower, and I'm just peeking through the journal to see what he's writing about. And that's what I had down. And his first chapter is on structure. And he said, it's no coincidence that this guy's dad was in the military and taught him this structure. He's also one of the most successful people that I know. He never said my name. Could be talking about somebody completely different, right? I'd like to think that I was that roommate at 18 that he's referring to. And I had no idea he'd written about it until I just read it, after he's already passed. Unfortunately, I wish I could have read it and talked to him about it. But it gets back to the basics of that. How clear, how detailed are you? How prepared are you? I remember Leslie sharing with me when you had an amazing year, and I asked you, I was like, what's the secret? What did you do? Do you remember what you shared with the group?
Oh, gosh. Was it that the night before or the day before or for the week, every Sunday night, I would plan out my week. And the night before I'd plan my to-dos for the following day. Is that what you're getting at?
100%.
Okay.
So your Sunday was your day that she planned her whole week out. And if you see her, you think that I was detailed when I was 18 years old. See how Leslie is with her calendar and how structured. It's amazing. It's very impressive. The notes she takes, how detailed she is with everything that she does, her calendar of how it's planned out. Now, you don't want to be to the point where it prevents you from taking action and doing it, but we have to get better with that. We got to be better with our time, and that will lead to being more efficient and more effective. Okay? I know I've done all the talking. Hopefully you guys had some time. Please do, please.
So since I told you that was several years ago, actually.
Mhm.
I discovered these erasable pens.
Yes.
Yeah, and so because calendars, schedules change, and mine changes all the time. That is my favorite thing, are these erasable pens. I can write
I'm going to get you for Christmas.
Yeah.
And you don't do it on your phone? You don't keep a calendar?
I do keep a calendar on my phone, but I don't keep my to-do list or things I want done per day, but I like also it in writing as well. So I can plan out my day, but yeah, no, it's in both. It's in my, it's not as detailed in my phone though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the important appointments are in my phone.
So if you're looking at things and you want to try things out, it's kind of a whole new system. Journal is one, right? Have something leather bound if you can, where it's all together where you can find it.
That's the key right there.
Right? Right?
Yeah, those come out.
It is because then,
Which binder?
and this was another thing. Bud Fulton, an old guy, he was a client, he was a sales guy at Cadillac, and he taught me. He said, never pick up the phone without a pen and a paper, right? Always have a pen and paper handy when you answer the phone. Then another gal taught me, and she had a big journal like this, thicker journal, and she was the bumblebee realtor. I remember that was her thing. And I asked her about that. She says, because now I keep everything that I do every single day in one place. You're not having to search through 100 different things. You can't have 10 journals. You have to have one journal at a time, right? Try your best to put the dates on there when you can remember, right? Start it with the date and then be able to go back to it. But you need one source to get it. Also, pen to paper is huge. There's something powerful about getting that thought to putting it on paper, doodle and draw, whatever. You have to get into that habit. And then the other thing is with the calendar, when you get very appointment focused, and we're going to talk about this, this is the key to success, is everything revolves around appointments. Your calendar revolves around setting appointments. So you're going to have time slots that when you're prospecting and you're talking to people, that I have 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or 5 o'clock. If you're gonna go as late as 7 o'clock and you can do that, then you put 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. These were the slots I had in my appointments. So I'm filling it with appointments throughout the week. And when I'm talking to people, I'm just filling these slots. Okay, I got Tuesday at 3, or I got Friday at 1 o'clock available. Which time works better for you? Well, neither of those times. Okay, well, you know, let me tentatively put it in, but you start closing with the alternate choice. And we're going to teach you about mastering setting appointments, right? These are the things that will change your business. You get a lot more structured, you have a lot more discipline and control over your time. And the more discipline you stick to your schedule, the more freedom that you're going to create. And that's how we can do things and spend time like getting together here and seeing the power of it. If you're not working your ideas over problems, like you should be doing it on a daily basis if you can, and you have to create the time. There is not enough time. It's the saying we talked about. Everybody's got the same 24 hours, right? Everybody works 8 hours.
Yeah.
Everybody hopefully sleeps for close to 8 hours, hopefully, right? That's 16. So then we have 8 hours left. What are you doing in your last 8 hours? And we're already counting that you're working 40 hours a week.
Right.
How many agents work 40 hours? How many agents you'll enjoy this one. How many agents have you seen in this office 40 hours a week? Zero,
Yeah.
right? So who's truly, and when you're in here, who's truly working and what is working? How do you identify that? This is the clarity that you're gonna get really quick if you pay attention to what it is we're doing. Ken, go ahead. You've been so awesome, dude. I know, right? I know you got so much you want to share, but it's no, does this all make sense so far?
Yes.
You guys like where we're
Yes.
flowing?
Absolutely.
Okay. I haven't even picked on anybody yet. I've been picking on the kids. I go, great. So, all right, so let's get into it though. That's definitely set the stage for it. I want to respect everybody's time. So, terms of goal for 2026, you don't have to say it out. If you want to say it, you're welcome to. Who feels very confident about the goal that they wrote down in front of them,
I do.
that they're going to accomplish it? You do?
For first quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got your first quarter goal and you feel very confident with it. Good. Good. What about last year? If you're comfortable in sharing, last year, how did you hit the goal that you set for last
No.
year? Okay. Did you set a pretty high goal last year?
I did.
And did you
So
do
I did. So my goal for last year was 125,000
okay.
commission.
Are you comfortable sharing what you
I
did?
did 43.
Okay. Your
But
first year in real estate.
first year.
And 43 is what you took home.
Yeah.
Yep. And how many transactions did you close?
7.
7. It's phenomenal.
With a lot of help.
First year, never sold anything in real estate.
No.
Before that, 43, what were you making before that?
About 40, working 8 hours, or no, I only worked 7 hours a day.
Mhm.
Property management, miserable, couldn't stand my the owner. Drama every day in the office, all drama, I was onboarding for property management, so owners were never happy. The tenants were never happy.
Sounds like a pretty
Vendors.
awesome job.
Vendors hated everyone because they wanted to get paid.
And you were never.
And no,
Yeah.
More importantly.
yeah, and I couldn't be
So
with my
making
family.
the change already better for quality of life.
Quality of life.
Good.
I mean, there's peaks and valleys. But yes, I wish I would have done this sooner.
Awesome. Well, you're gonna hit your goal. You can share your goal if you
Yeah.
want to share it.
So my goal for first quarter
Mhm.
is to make 45,000.
That a girl. Go
I
ahead. Ken.
want to tap into what we're seeing here. So if you notice, you all notice, there was some hesitation in their past goal setting, but she's definitive right now.
Mhm.
I want you to share with us, why are you so confident and what's changed? What's the difference?
Mindset,
Mhm.
momentum.
Wait. So let's start with mindset. What does that mean? to you?
I all that Kool-Aid you guys are mixing, I'm drinking, all the books.
Got the IV.
Yep, all the books that you guys have prescribed and I listen to daily. And now I'm just like thirsty for like all the Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, obviously, Think and Grow Rich. I listen to that every day when I'm getting ready. Um,
So I did what Bernard did, and I peeked at the top of your journal when it was open the
Yeah.
other day, and on the top I saw my gratitudes, and she's writing it out. I didn't ask her to do anything. She already had that at the top. That's how you start. That's the key habit to start your day. Very first thing, this is what they asked me last night when I went to the confirmation class. What is your very first thought when you wake up in the morning? Think about it. What is your very first thought?
every day I thank God for another day. And thank you, God, for this day, thank you, God, for my family. And I started in the morning. I used to just get up, hurry up. Oh my gosh, I gotta, get the kid, braid her hair, do whatever she wants me to do. So now I wake up and I just sit there, I drink my coffee, just thank you, God. I don't even like start anything else. And it, as woo woo or whatever, people might think, I mean, I believe it and it's working in my life.
So
And
what led, after you corrected your mindset and you're feeling, you got all that negativity out
Mhm.
and you stopped listening to people that just couldn't
Yeah,
complete what they were
haters.
completing,
They were
and now
haters.
you're moving forward. What was the first steps you took into ignite your business for this year?
I just, I honestly, I've just been planting seeds all last year, and those seeds are finally coming to fruition.
Okay.
So in the valley of what was the end of last year, where I'm like, dear Lord, uh, just staying positive, staying in the mindset of like, it's gonna happen, even though everyone is like, get another job. What are you doing? You have, and I did have to end up working at my daughter's school, just to help with the tuition. But God is so good working at that school, talking to the other teachers, talking to the other families. Now they're talking to me about, so everything, even when there are valleys, just staying happy, positive and just still talking, even though you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm a loser. What am I doing with my life? Those thoughts don't come up as frequent, but when the bills are there, you're like, but still saying, not like flushing myself down the toilet.
No, those are super important things. So what you're seeing happening, and Brandon, we all can attest to this because we live and breathe everything we're teaching. But if you're in a negative mindset, or you're believing people around you that are failing, and that they're gonna come to you and knock you down, the news, anything. But if you allow that in, then what you gotta realize is, and Think and Grow Rich was the beginning of it, but what Think and Grow Rich was comprised of was that Napoleon went and interviewed 200 of the top people. So Carnegie said, here's Ford, here's Edison, here's this. And they found a commonality amongst them all. And all of them believed in this force. And it sounds nutty, of this positive energy that you can tap into. And what happens is, when you're allowing the positive, and you're in a positive thing, because your conscious mind is just a distributor. It can put in good things, it can send out good messages, it can send out bad messages. When it goes into your subconscious, that's where it grows. This is the farm.
Mine's been growing.
Yeah, you're growing on here.
Myself.
So if you put in nightshade, is what they say in the book, it's deadly poison. It'll grow the same as if you planted sweet corn. Same thing. But when you're in that positive mindset, it allows the frequency to attract other people. So her being in that positive mindset in the environment as a school teacher, she's working as a school teacher, and they're asking her about real estate advice. I was in the ice cream business when I started before I got into real estate, and I was showing homes and selling homes. Because I was euphoric, I was positive, and people they just attract to you. You're opening up the floodgate to that. So every morning, when I would drive from Simi to here, I would have Bob Proctor on every single day. And I'd come in here and I would just be in the right mind.
Bob
And-
changed me.
Yeah, so then
I call him Bob now because he was a walking Bob Proctor. I'm not joking. He literally was channeling Bob's energy, coming and smiling. I'm like, what are you smiling about,
and
dude?
it was rough.
I was like,
We started.
I was like, what are you happy about? I'm coming in pissed off, and I'm seeing this guy, and I'm just like, just stop it, kid.
So to that point, I had some stuff happening to me recently. And I'm driving to see me to here. I'm not in a good mood. And I go, I gotta go to my go-to. I've heard this thing 50,000 times. And what will happen is that you'll realize that the message doesn't change. You change.
Right.
So what you're listening to on that day, you're receiving it differently every single time. So I'm listening to this thing and I'm driving over here, and all of a sudden I went from being in a crappy mood to like thinking of my gratitudes. And then I'm looking at the countryside and I'm like, God, look what you made. I go, I don't know if you're using my eyes to see what you built, but look at these fruit trees. Look at the mud. Look at the leaves. Look at the lemons. And I was just I'm getting chills right now because it at that moment, I was very humble and very appreciative of what was in front of me every day. That's what's important. We woke up, we're happy, we're living.
Kids are healthy.
And then when you're feeling that, your vibe changes. That's when it flows in. It's not by accident. Every one of those people have said that. You can defy it, you can fight it, you can think it's nonsense. And Bob Proctor talks about it. He goes, why is it that you're walking through the mall and you feel that someone's staring at you? You look, turn around, there's someone there. Someone giving you a bad vibe. That guy, oh, they give me a bad vibe. Why is it you're okay in understanding that, but you can't believe there's a good vibe? Why do you have a phone and you can call someone in South America with no wires?
Right.
So there is a communication that's happening. You need to tap into the positive channel. That's the reality of it. And it's there. And there's a lady named Helen Hillman or something like that. This lady won 5,000 prizes. And she read this book called, excuse me,
Helen Hellman.
I think her name is
I just shared this story.
So
I can't even remember.
The Power of Positive Thinking. She
Right.
read this book, and she said, I want this yacht.
She kept winning.
And she kept winning, and she kept using the
Visualizing.
techniques, visualizing and manifesting it. And she went to the neighbor and she says, hey, you know what? I'm going to be receiving a call. They're going to call me from the lottery.
Right.
Because I'm going to win. And she shows, and there's not only you have to see it, you have to believe it, you have to visualize it, you have to feel it. And that's what Brandon's talking about when you're writing this stuff down. It's like, if you're writing it down and going, I don't even believe what I'm writing, this is nonsense,
Right.
then how's it going to work?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. You're going to have to write it down and go, and I'll tell you, you do it all the time in a positive way. How many of you have wanted shoes that you like, or a watch, some kind of whatever it is, a car, your first car? You're gonna, whatever you're like obsessed with it. Come within a few weeks, it's there. It's there. That's all you're looking at. That's all you're thinking about. That's all you're seeing. It's there. It happens. And I can tell you some other deep stuff that's happened to me that are nutty, that you think it's impossible. Now, whether it's God's energy, whatever force, whatever it is, it's there. It works. And you can go from like opening yourself up to this and feeling the way she is, it won't stop. The problem is when we're going and we shut that faucet off, it's very difficult to turn it back on. You cannot stop flowing when you're flowing. And I've done this before. I've been in ups and downs in real estate. When I was cranking it out, it just kept coming. Every 5 minutes, my phone rang. Appointment, 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 appointment. 4 appointments a day. You can do whatever you want, ability wise. And it sounds like, how can you do that? How did you get that? How did you do that? And we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about that. But I wanted to just tap into it because we just gloss over it like it's no big deal.
No, thank you, April,
thank
for
you, yeah.
being vulnerable and just sharing what you did. But it's the essence of it. So if you are writing notes and you're trying to think about this, like what do you do when a negative thought comes into your head or you're in a bad mood, you get hit with a curveball that you're not expecting, another person's acting in a way that you don't like. What do you do in that situation? And how do you do like what Ken said, where he was in a negative space and then he went back to his go-to? What is your go-to? Think about that. Write it down. Like, figure out what do you do in that situation? Do you just let it take over your day? Are you in control of your thoughts? How do you control your thoughts? That's the one gift that we've all been given. We all have the ability to think and choose. We get to choose whether we want to give some negative energy power. And I'm going to just add a little to it. I still want to get more into the discussion. But I'm reading it all in Bernard's book called Succeed. And he talks about the different level of wavelengths. Poverty is the lowest frequency. The highest frequency is prosperity, right? Which certain religions and people believe you're getting close to heaven or God. You're getting to that point when you're in that abundance mindset. So the low frequency is very strong. And if you don't do anything with your brain that Ken was talking about, planting seeds, then the negativity flows in and dominates you. If you're not doing anything, that's why they say idle minds are like the devil's playground, right? You're not doing anything, or you're drinking, or you're smoking, or whatever you're doing, and you start slowing things down, that's taking you straight down to poverty. It's a strong force. So you have to look at it as two rivers. I know you've heard me say this. And how do you get your ore out of the river that's pulling you down into that negative space to pop into the river that's flowing up towards prosperity?
And there's
How do
10
you
things
protect
and one of the things that Bob Proctor gives an example of that, he goes, I came in and he goes, I lost $5,000. He goes, I lost it. And I called Kelly, or the lady that worked with him, I think her name was Kelly. And she's like, I lost this $5,000. He goes, and at first, he goes, yeah, I was pissed. He goes, I was mad. But then I realized I can't do anything about it. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Mhm.
And then he said, I had to change the way I thought about it. He goes, that 5,000 wasn't meant to be in my pocket. It was meant to go to someone else that needed it. And that's the way I'm going to look at it. And it's over. It's done. I'm not going to get it back. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to dwell on it. I can't change it. But we will kill ourselves. And then the other thing I've recently read is that you have to unconditionally forgive yourself. Unconditionally forgive yourself on whatever happened in your past. And you don't need to make excuses. I forgive myself unconditionally, and that's it. And at this point, I'm moving forward. Take it or leave it. That's it. End of discussion.
It's great.
So along those lines,
Yep.
this book, The Untethered Soul, talks just about that.
Yep.
And it's about realizing that you're not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind your thoughts.
Exactly that. That's exactly where that came from.
And I have some at my house. I bought them for everyone
That's awesome.
that I've talked to about it,
I've been
because
listening
it's
to it.
changed my life. And it's this guy, he studied Hinduism, Stoicism, all Christianity, all the, and it's about, you have to realize, because think about like when you were madly in love with someone for the first time, you know, and it was your first love and you just, you know, everything's gonna be great and we're gonna do this and that, and then you break up and then you're like, I hate that bastard, you know, and like,
How's that you really do?
and you know, he dissed me and what, you know, how could I have been so stupid? And it's because, and you're always telling yourself like, oh, I want Chinese. Oh no, I want Mexican. Oh no, you know, food wise. I'm not talking about anymore. But hey, whatever. And you know, and you're constantly like arguing, and it's like, who is that? Who which one should I listen to? I'm a loser, I'm great, you know, and you are not your thoughts, and you're the awareness behind them. And you know, you have to align yourself in my mind with, you know, God. But he's not Christian. So it's not a Christian book, but
That's
he
awesome.
doesn't even talk about religion
Yeah.
per se.
No, I've-
It's spirituality.
And all these people, even Bob, again, I can tell I listen to him a lot. But they don't just say God. They all look, if
Yeah.
it's universal. There's a reason why people like Steve Jobs went to Tibet to like these people are looking to tap into this frequency, whatever it is, whatever religion, they all have the same belief
Yeah.
that they like these Indian, no, they're, no, I forgot the name, not Buddhist, but they are, they completely are able to go into that and do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Cause they're in a way of complete,
Yogis.
yeah, the yogis, yeah.
No, I'm
He
I'm just
studied
curious.
yogis.
I do want to get to
Yeah.
these, but what are your thoughts? I know you're hearing a lot. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts, Justin? Just based on some of what we're touching on right now.
I mean, it's all powerful, right? Because a lot of times when, like we've been talking about, your subconscious has so much more control over your conscious mind than we all think,
Mhm.
especially when you say like, oh, little bits here and there aren't going to affect me, but as that snowball gets bigger and bigger, all of a sudden it becomes you, right? And it's another hole to dig yourself out of.
Right.
And that's this industry in a nutshell,
Right.
especially when things aren't going well. You know, you start doubting yourself, you start doubting your systems and what's working, what's not working,
Right.
to the point where digging yourself out of that hole can become very overwhelming.
Right.
And having discussions like this and being around like a team that I'm on, like it really, really has helped me.
Mhm.
Because before joining EXP and before joining them, I was in that hole pretty bad. And so digging myself out seemed impossible, you know, but little wins every now and again as they have to keep reminding me.
Right.
Celebrate them.
It is.
And it's all about that subconscious and conscious energy working together to get you through the good and the bad.
Right.
Right.
There's a lot of
I want to
emotion.
add something to that because it makes, you're, I've been in your shoes.
Mhm.
100%. I started off rookie of the year, crushing it. And then I went dead. And I was in that spiral, talking to myself, doubting everything,
Mhm.
all that.
Mm.
And Doug Pitts was the top guy in the office he was taking 8, 9 listings every, all the time. And I go, Doug, I need your help. Like, tell me, how are you doing this? Tell me the secret. He goes, I'm going to tell you. He goes, I'm going to tell you. And then I'm like, all right, well, tell me. And he's like, and I'm waiting for this profound, magical answer, right? And he goes, and I finally get him because he's very hyper and he's not a guy that can settle. He's got ADD. So I finally get him aside and I go, okay, what is it? He goes, here's the secret. He goes, go sell something. And I'm like, God damn it. I wasn't happy at all. It was very insulting. You know, it was really like, dude, really? Like, I get you don't want to help me, but you didn't have to tell me that. Like, I get it. I guess hog it all up.
Yeah.
I was very pissed. You know, I wasn't happy. Then somebody came in and said, I want to rent a house. But I got nothing else going on. Put them in my car, start talking to them, seeing them, this and that. And it just changed my mindset. And then everything started happening again.
Mhm.
And what I realized was he was right. It wasn't, he was just saying, get out of your head.
Yeah.
Get in front of people. Go sit in an open house. Go sit here. Go call someone. Start talking to someone.
Mhm.
And it'll get you out of that. The minute you start talking like this right now, we're talking, it can change your whole day. This little moment right here can change your whole day. Why? Because you're communicating. The other thing you got to realize is that sometimes you think that someone feels a certain way about you, and it's not at all, they're not even thinking about you.
Yeah.
And you're in your heads going, man, they don't like me. Oh my God. Oh, what did he say that for? And what? You don't even know them.
Yeah. Yeah,
You haven't even asked anything. And in your head will play, according to that book,
sure.
these tricks on you that are just, it doesn't stop.
Mhm.
So get yourself, if you're feeling that way, in front of someone. Anything. Don't worry about the money. Just put yourself in front of somebody and it'll change everything.
Set the task, whatever it is. Sometimes it can be an event. So sometimes I'll plan a home buyer class and then I teach off of that. And I tell everybody who I'm mentoring or just speaking, I'm like, hey, start setting appointments towards that class that's coming up. So I do it just for that. That's all it is. I don't already have the people. Sometimes I do, but most times I don't. I just set a date and do it. Ken and I are talking, we do this all the time. We're not just plotting on how we're going to take over the world when we're hanging out together for hours at a time.
Here we are.
A little bit of that. But we also gotta pay the bills and take care of our families, right? So, he's like, yeah, dude, I called Debbie Gates, I set the appointment up. I'm gonna have my mentee over there and we're working this weekend. And you can already see just by him committing to that action already changes what you're thinking, what you're doing. You're not waiting. So we're gonna get to that. We're already getting close to it. But in terms of what challenges or how do you plan to get your business, you're gonna learn a shift from what you're taught by a lot of people. And we're not saying don't farm, we're not saying to not do these certain things, but you can get that momentum going a lot faster by taking action and taking more active activities like being on the phone consistently with people, setting appointments consistently. We're going to get to that. So let's jump. Let's jump here first real quick. So we talked about, or I don't know if we talked about why the goal is important. We did with you. Oh, what challenges are you concerned about in achieving that goal? So I'm gonna ask you, Tammy. So with the goal that you set, you don't have to share it, but what do you think would prevent you, or what challenges are you seeing that you have to overcome to hit the goal that you set? Because I don't think you set a low goal. I'm just guessing. I don't think you set a low one.
Well, I think the challenges are the challenges everybody has,
And what challenges are those? What challenges are you
The
thinking?
first one down was time, even though we all have 24 hours. And
Okay.
that is my line. I tell myself that all the time.
Right.
We all have 24 hours.
Right.
It's about how you use those 24
Okay.
hours.
So how do you use them?
So the challenges I need to figure out is how to be more disciplined
Mm-hmm.
and more organized with structure.
Okay.
Because I do the calls, I do the meetings, I do the open houses,
Right.
and I have everything going and I have a whole bunch of things in the air a million times. And
Right.
I feel like I'm dropping some balls because I have, because
We follow through.
we have a lot of notes, we have a lot of pads, like which,
That's
I've
good.
been more of pads, which pad was that? Okay,
Yeah.
here it is.
Right.
Because I'm old school.
Right.
We do like to
I
write.
like to write.
That's
I'm not-
good.
I do- He's the new generation.
Techie guy, right?
He
Yeah.
types, so sometimes I'll talk and he types. But the challenges are trying to figure out what's the most important and not drop the ball.
Right.
So those are some of the things.
Okay. So what's the most important for each day, right? Okay. And what else was it? Sorry, so I have challenges, time, how to use them, organized, and
I
what,
think the other one is implementing small adjustments and systems where I'm not stopping what I know how to do.
right,
Because like Ken and I were talking about that, and we're coming here, we're trying to keep an open mind, learn new things.
right,
But we have been successful and I don't want to
Absolutely.
lose that momentum.
You
And I
won't.
feel like I've taken about 10 steps back
you
in this
can,
transition,
right,
to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, we had our first closing here, but
right.
wasn't, we're celebrating it. No, it was.
It's a win.
It was
It's a win.
It was a win.
It is.
But I feel like we have taken many steps back.
Right.
And I know we will go forward, so trying to catch up and how do we adjust without not changing the whole plan
Right.
to be able to grow?
That's
Yeah,
it.
and there's the guy from, one of the guys from Shark Tank, he says, they asked him that kind of stuff. And he said, I woke up every day committing to do 3 things. Period. And I wouldn't go home until I finished the 3 things I committed myself to do. Not 5, not 6, not 10, just
Mhm.
3.
Is it the
Because then
lanes?
every single day, I would have progress. Every month, I would end the month with progress.
Yep.
And one thing that we were taught, Brandon and I, and when it comes to arranging and calculating, and I'm like you, I used to, everything, my whole CRM was a yellow notepad. Everything, my clients, my people, everything was a yellow notepad. And I used to have checklists that I would go through, and the way I operated was, I would come in and hammer it all out is the first hour. Every problem, everything, I would hammer it out. And then the rest of the day, I would be free. The one thing I realized that I learned recently was checklists are made by you. And the checklist is made because it's easy. You write down what you want to do, and they're not necessarily what needs to be done. So you have to be careful when you're writing down your stuff and you're checking it off. Oh, because I like that, I could do that, I could do that. But the other stuff that doesn't, you can't just keep kicking it down the line. So if you don't want to do it, you have to find someone that can, but it has to be completed, or you'll never do it.
That's
And
the
that's,
key right there.
and that's the
Complete
key.
it.
You have to complete it. So if you come in with a mentality, I gotta get these 3 things done, and if it's not me, I need someone that can do it.
Mhm.
And that's it, and move on. I do believe still that coming in the first hour and knocking out all your problems is just, once you face them, and Brian Troop taught me that, it's all eat the frog,
Yeah.
like just
There's
take it up,
definitely
like just to do it, handle it.
Yeah.
It's never a big deal.
Yeah.
There's not one call that you can't handle. You'll put it out, you'll work it out. So that's my advice on that.
No, that's good. I appreciate you sharing these things, and we're going to talk in a little bit more detail because I want to respect the hour, because I know
Yeah.
we all got a lot of things that are going. Are there any other challenges that you see in terms of accomplishing your goal? What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big ones is we want to get that YouTube
Mhm.
going.
Yep.
And it's finding the time and the consistency to make sure we're doing it.
Right.
We don't want to roll it out without having 3 back, so
Mhm.
we will be consistent,
Right.
so I don't want to fail on that, and I want to really make it work this time.
Right.
Because we've done it, obviously, we already have a YouTube channel that's kind of, so we want to do something different this time. Starting fresh, get that going consistently, and have some backlogs so that we can roll it out.
So
right?
what date are you committing to start that?
Well, we haven't really put a date down, but we have talked about, do we want to do our videos on Sundays? But we usually have open houses on Sundays, so I don't know if it's every other Sunday.
So we have.
Yeah, you have to figure out the date to record it, to
Yeah.
make it, right? Usually, from what I've heard from other people that do it, it's usually during the week, like middle of the week. And then if you can't do it during regular hours, then it's late hours. It's like 7 to 9,
Yeah.
whatever you have to do to make sure that you do it and it
Yeah.
gets done.
Right.
So that's just one thing with it. But one of the things that I want to work with you, we've talked about a little bit
Yeah.
with time blocking,
Yeah.
figuring out how to schedule the week.
Yeah.
Really paying attention to it instead of just going with the flow. Because
Right.
going with the flow is not going to work.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not
It's
gonna
it's
get
not.
better.
You have to plan it out more.
Yeah,
Some of your clients have to wait a little bit. It's okay, and you'll see that you're still going to be able to knock everything out.
right.
So getting that control, I think, is going to be very important,
Yeah.
and it's going to lead to more efficiencies. So we'll work on that. Any other challenges? Any challenges that you see for hitting your goal?
Well, actually, it's actually what Ken
Uh-huh.
touched on, and it's, I do have one of those never ending to-do lists.
Right.
And I have erasable pens as I carry what I don't finish over to the next day.
Uh-huh.
And, depending on my mood, I tend to sometimes pick the easy things that don't do anything for my business, so to speak. And
Right.
so I need to like prioritize the hardest items that are going to be the ones that bring me business.
Right.
Like make my phone calls.
Right.
You know, and because those are time consuming.
I'm gonna write these things as you say it. So you said make your phone calls.
Yes,
Okay.
and so just as an example, I don't know where Betty went, but
Yeah.
I talked to her on the phone yesterday and she was saying, oh, it was like in mid-afternoon and she goes,
Right.
haven't made my phone calls yet. I
Right.
said, neither have I. So as soon as we hung up, I said, I gotta make my 5 phone calls. That's
Yep.
what I do. I made my 5 phone calls and I actually spoke to 3 people.
Mhm.
And it was great. I just needed to just bite the bullet and just get it done.
Right.
And so it was good. But I need to just knock it out first.
Yep.
Rather than keep putting it off. Because for me, it's very daunting because if I do speak to somebody, I like to log what we discussed in my CRM
Right.
and put in a reminder when
Right.
I'm gonna follow up with them. And so it's a lot of work. It's more than just calling.
You do a lot with that initial call with all the extra steps afterwards. And this is just a quick little tip, right? Because I've done it where I've made call after call after call after call, and I've had great conversations. So one trick of what I would do, one is I'm always standing up when I'm making the calls. Second is create an intake sheet. Have a template intake sheet that's got some simple information, and then you can take quick notes when you're having that conversation with them. You can't put everything in where you're typing it all up in your CRM. If you're fast at typing and you got a good CRM, you can do that. But all you're doing is just quick little shorthand notes, not details, not setting the appointment up. If you can set the appointment on the call, you do it. And you put what their next step is. You write it down. You identify what their style is. If they're analytical, if they're expressive, you put that on the top, right? So these little sheets, intake sheets, you can have a 3-ring binder. It's all old school. And then you'll end up with a stack of prospects. That's your follow-up stack as you have these conversations. So get into having more conversations. Trust yourself. You won't remember everything.
Yeah.
If you can record some, that's great. If you can't, don't worry about it. You'll know the ones. All you're doing every time you're making these calls is putting feelers out. The one thing I know is in the conversations I'm having right now, everybody's looking to make a move. They're all looking to sell something. They're all looking to buy something. People have been stuck in their homes for the last few years because of the interest rate situation. People are primed for the picking, but agents aren't making the calls. So get more aggressive on your phone calls than anything else. And you won't, I could bet money on it. You're going to have more conversions, more appointments, more real estate conversations right now if you get on the phone and talk to people. That should be your number one top thing. We don't have the time to go through it because I wanted to do this exercise, but what you want to identify, there's 3 ways of getting business. What are the ways of getting business? How could you get the business? What do you think?
Face to face.
Face to face, right? Right. But you're setting that up face to face. So you could either wait for the business, right? Think of what activities are waiting for the business. If you send a postcard out, right? And no, and it's good. It's planting seeds, but you're waiting for somebody to call you or do something after you send it out, right? So that is one area, but that's not going to lead to creating your momentum right now, right? So waiting for the business. What else? What other thing can you do? You can go find the business.
Yeah. Open houses or they come to you.
Or you can buy the business. Those are the 3 ways. And so some people, we were just talking about a top person that everybody thinks is this top agent. He admitted he spent $20,000 a month in Zillow leads, $20,000 a month for years building his database. Now he's known as one of the top, and guess what he's doing? He's calling them because he has them as clients now, right? And he's calling them up and all his business is coming from there. He's not spending $20,000 a month, but he had to do that for years. And that's what people do to be the number one agent. They all want the title. I'm the number one agent in this area. But if you're spending all this money just for, it's all ego driven. What are you walking away with?
Yeah,
That's the key.
right. That's right.
And Ken has taught me how to be very profitable on that side, right? Being around
I'm
Ken.
a CF no.
See, that's no. We don't have water, but we will. Now we got it. We do. So identify the activities, just kind of bringing it all in. Make sure that you are proactively finding the business. The hardest thing to do in real estate is finding a motivated buyer and a motivated seller. Every single day in everything you do, whether you're going to another job, whether you're at birthday parties, whatever. You're
Mhm.
always talking to people. And I know this sounds common sense. It sounds like you may think that you're already doing it, but I know you're not doing it effectively and efficiently if you're not setting appointments, because everything's based around setting appointments. So how good are you with that conversation to draw enough interest, discover enough, and get them to self-discover that they need you? Or what kind of stories are you sharing of opportunities that are out there right now? And I'm sharing my own personal story of the house that I'm buying all the time. And I'm getting people who said they would never move. This is our final house. And they're like, wow, this is a nice neighborhood. Wow, I'm tired of these people driving fast down my street. Oh, but the interest rate, and I'm hearing all their, I'm not saying anything. They just want to come check the place out.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, and like Ken's talked about, you got to just get them in the car and show them a few places. So
Yeah,
just
let me-
get to
let me
that.
tell-
Go ahead,
I want
Ken.
to ask something to all of you. When Brandon said, everybody's starting to buy, everybody's going, like, it's crazy. Everyone I'm talking to wants to buy. What was your initial feeling that you had, Justin, when he said that? Be honest.
Yeah, be honest.
I'm excited, you know.
Do you believe him, or
I
were
do.
you are, or were you automatically like saying, I don't see the same thing.
No, I believe it. I just know that I'm not doing enough to get it.
And how does that make you feel?
It's a mix of encouraging and disappointment because
Mhm.
I'm letting myself down, but I also know that if I am disciplined and stay motivated, that the business is out there.
Can I say something? It's
Yeah.
really not about motivation.
Mhm.
It's more about discipline. Because if you're disciplined, you're gonna get to the results.
Right.
Motivation comes and goes, and that will always be, if you stick to the, and I'm bad at myself, but if you stick to.
Well, we
your
show up.
discipline, We show up where we do the
You do.
business. We were just talking about
Right
making
before
the
this.
calls
Yeah.
right
Yes.
before this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is like right on, and we were talking, he doesn't wanna call to make the salesy calls, you
Right.
know, like.
Yeah.
He's just there for him, he wants to be authentic, and we were talking about different ways, so it's kinda
Right.
good.
So Ken, I'm on your list. You haven't spoken to me in a while. How does that phone call go? And you call me up real quick. If you just real quick, just to show them. I already know you can do it. You're
No.
calling me up. Can you do it? All right, I'll do it.
No, I'm just saying.
Just
like,
do it real quick,
okay,
dude, so
go.
he can hear it. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello.
No, you're saying.
Oh,
great.
you want me?
I'll call you.
Okay, so I'm the agent. Hey Ken, hey bud, you've been on my mind. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. How's the family doing?
Family's great.
Good. Everybody's good, healthy.
Yep.
Good. How's Johnny doing?
Oh my God, he's kicking butt. He just told me he's gonna do great in track and blah, blah, blah.
That's awesome, man. Hey, but I'm sorry it's taken so long for me to reach out to you. I was just really hoping, you've been on my mind lately. Do you be open to getting some coffee or just getting together for some lunch sometime?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Well, what's your schedule look like later on this week? I got a Thursday lunch or Friday lunch available.
Thursday.
Cool. Sounds good. Right. A lot of times it is as basic as that sounds. That's it. It's not, we're not even getting in, oh, the
Do you know
purpose
what
of my
the
call.
what forwarded me is?
Yeah, we talked about
Okay.
family, occupation. That's why I asked how Johnny's doing. There's usually a reason, right? Like something on social media will pop up, and then I put their notes down on my phone, next buyers or prospects or whatever, and I have my list. And then I have something on there why I'm calling them. And hey, I see, Johnny scored a goal, did this. It's awesome, dude. How's it going? We're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with Mikey with soccer. How do you guys like that there? And it just opens the conversation.
Mhm.
And then what it starts getting into, it's normally not that quick. Everybody knows the conversation's not that short with me, right? Right. But it gets into it's just asking questions and letting them talk. And then they talk about life
Authentic.
events and
Yeah.
then they talk about different things and like, it's weird. My wife and I were just talking and we saw this house up and I know, we got a really good rate. And then I'm just listening. And then it's like, yeah, what's that house that you're talking about? I said, it's crazy you bring that up. I just helped somebody get, $28,000 in closing cost credit. Like it's really weird what's happening with the market right now. And there's some crazy opportunity. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that. This is the conversation as I'm pulling home late at night after doing everything here. This is what I'm saying with in terms of how you can get it all done. I knew I had to make the call. So I make the call. I got like 10 minutes before I pull into my driveway. I'm sitting in the driveway. It's like 8:45 at night. I'm in the driveway, he's an attorney, he's in the driveway, trying to get inside the house, right? That's literally what we're both doing. And we're having a talk. And we're talking about real estate and he's because he texts me, he's all man, 55, I have 500,000 to put down. I have 5,500 payment is what I'm being quoted at right now for 1.2. He's like, that is bananas, 5,500 a month. And instead of me responding by text and saying, oh, I just did it, it's not a big deal. There's nothing that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It takes a phone call.
Yeah.
So as I'm talking to him, now I'm able to preface it and he hears my excitement and my energy. I said, bro, believe me, I had the same talk with my wife. She was freaking out when she saw what our mortgage payment was. And if that was the reason why I was buying, I wouldn't have bought. So I'm relating to him,
Yeah.
right? I said, the reality is I just moved from where my house is maxed out under $1 million in my neighborhood. I got it at 940, 1,500 square foot home. So then I moved into a neighborhood and bought for less than what I just sold my property for. That was sitting at $1 million. That's 1,800 square feet. And I got $50,000 in credit. Got a brand new roof covered. I'm fixing this. I'm doing this. You don't think that's piquing his interest?
Yeah.
He's salivating at what I'm sharing with him right now. And I said, bro, I get it on the payment. I said, but the reality is, especially if you pay off some other debt and do some things, this is what it takes to move up. I said, what do you think rent's running right now? I said, what do you think everything is? I said, that's the new norm. He's all, dude, I'm so glad you shared that with me. Because I had no idea.
Yeah.
His head is in law 24/7.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the norm is for the housing. They
Right.
don't know. All they're thinking is keep my payments low, do
Yeah.
this. That's the worst thing he can do.
Yeah.
I said, I promise you'll be thanking me after I said, let's not look at 1.2. I said, the sweet spot's 1.4 to 1.6 right now. I said, I can get you a deal. He's like, you're saying get a baller home. I said, yeah. I said, let's get a baller home and sell your house. He was going to rent his house. I said, let's sell your house, put that 500 plus 300 down, and let's talk about something that's going to be worth over $2 million that you can probably get at like 1.415. Because I didn't even think of that. I said, I know. He's like, dude, we got to talk more. I got to get inside. That's the conversation.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's that. So it's not like, yes, it is objection handling. It's all these things,
That's what
but
the
it's
big point is, that you have to handle the common objections that are out there with a testimonial. So he knew that was coming. His testimonial is his experience, his home. And then that gives him the confidence, because that's why when the market is like frozen right now, why do you think that is? Because people are afraid to be the first ones to buy.
Yeah.
Or sell at like they're afraid. But once you've done it, you're not afraid anymore. Someone else is already doing it. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it too.
Yeah.
It's a common thing.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about one thing regarding to what you guys were talking about, I wrote down ROI, return on investment. You need to always track your ROI, your return on investment. So even like that agent that we're talking about that was paying that amount of money, he wouldn't have done it if he wasn't like getting the return on it at that time. So it doesn't matter. But the big mistake that people will do is that they'll see other agents and they'll mail out a mailer one time. And you spend $400 on that mailer, okay? Or more, right? Then you track that and you go, okay, well, what did I get out of that? Nothing. But what if you spent the $400 on taking out your past clients to coffee or lunch, even buying them lunch? What do you think has a better success rate? It's a 0.1% on a mailer. It's 70% on a past client. So what's the ROI? What's the formula on that? We spend thousands of dollars trying to chase strangers. Conversion rate on a website is 2.5%. That's it.
It's sometimes hard to track though. You don't know. Sometimes it's the perception, it's the consistency, it's the branding and all that. It's
Well,
like, okay,
But
did I get it really?
when I was doing mailers and I was sending consistently,
Yeah.
and I had a method to because that's the key, it will work, but it has to be all the time. And I was tracking the paper price, the ink, the folding, the stuffing, the writing. It was $1.50 per mailing for me at the end of it all. And I literally would track how many and I would try to cut the pennies on the printing. And try to cut like legit, because you get down to that. You have to run a business like a business. And the reality is, many of us we see something and you're gonna send something and it doesn't work. I think we were talking about this at lunch with Brandon. There was a guy that put a thing in the back of his truck with a pressure washer, and he cleans your trash cans. Okay? He knocked on doors and said, hey, this is what I do. Here's my here's my truck. I'll clean your trash cans for whatever amount. How would you like that done? Or would you like that done? And everybody was like, yeah, clean my trash cans. He made $10,000 a month. Now, if you were to receive a letter saying, I clean trash cans, are you going to call a guy? No way. Not going to happen. But the guy's right there. You see that he's legit. You see that he's working. It's a way more impactful. You have to be in front of people.
Yeah.
Judy, the girl the woman that the
Oh,
agent
I
that,
didn't say her name, but yeah.
well, the
He knew
agent
I
that he
said
was
her.
working with,
No, he did.
she farms my area where I live for 30 years. Everybody knows her. Every month. Not door knocks and door knocks and door knocks. They get 5, 6, 7 listings every other month. Not every, but they get 2 listings every other month. And they're all close to $2 million listings. But they do food drives, they do flyers every single week. And the guy that and I'm giving you, we're talking about these methods of prospecting. But the one guy that this guy named Don Doherty, he was a big farmer in Simi Valley. And he crushed this one area, and it was a lower range price point. And I asked him, I said, you ever think about going, to the big boys? And he's like, no. I picked this specifically because I looked at the turnover rate. Like where I live, nobody moves. It's like once in a great blue moon. But in the area, he looked at an area that was the hot point that people could afford, and there was high turnover. So he goes, I had a block like this, and one week I do this side, next week I do this side, the next week I did this side, last week I do this way, and then I would start again. And I go, wow. I go, how'd you get that? He goes, well, I used to deliver sparkless water, and I ran it like my route. He goes, the first year I got 1 sale. Second year I got 3. After that is when it blew up, because he became familiar. With your picture on your flyer, your open house signs, you're doing consistency within an area that you own and dominate, takes time.
Yeah.
So those are stories from legit people. All of it is based off consistency and effort. All of it. So this magic formula that everybody's looking for from these top people, it's not. There is none.
Yeah.
All of it is simplistic effort.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah, I know we got to wrap up. Just the key to at least the short-term success right now is making the calls, time block, at least 1 hour a day. If you need to split it 30 minutes, because it's hard to force 2 hours, 2 hours of prospecting should be happening. But if you can do at least 1 hour commitment a day, treat it like a listing appointment that you're not going to move. Pick a time slot. Morning's usually better. It's better, just your energy's in a better spot. But if you have to make the 9 o'clock, 8:45 call like I did, you make it at some point, especially if you've been in an engagement. I didn't just call him out of the blue at 8:45. I knew he was busy. He knew I was busy. We had some texts going back and forth. I didn't finally get to call until then. But he said, let's talk later on today. It was later on today. And I normally don't do it because I protect my late time. That's my time with my kids. There's just different times I make exceptions for that. And when I need that momentum going, then I'll make those exceptions, right? And then I'll put it in Ken. He's seen it, and he's just like, I'll tell him, I'm like, dude, got in here early, stayed here late, and did it multiple times, but it's not like that forever. That's the thing is like sometimes you'll have that in a week. That's good. That means you're working. That means you're putting it in. But don't just think coming in for an hour on a training a couple times a week that you're going to have the best year of your career.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
Right.
It's not going to. I
All
need
top
you, I need
rates
you in here
for
all the
8 in
time,
morning to
Leslie.
8 at night.
This message is for you, but put that into your time block that
All
out,
top
at least an
rates
hour.
from 8 to 8.
Make the call, set appointments.
Yeah.
Let's work on it.
I'm
sometime.
talking the
I want to
one
work
right
on it
now.
with you. So let's make some of those calls. That role play wasn't the greatest, but it's kind of the
I
essence of
recommend
it.
it, but I'm
You
telling
don't need to
doesn't
make
get
it
out.
complicated. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You
just
know
say I
what
was
it is?
thinking of you. How are
Because
you
people get
doing?
off work
You were on my
at 5 or 6
mind.
o'clock.
What's going on?
So
I
you're
just
just
felt
no,
I needed to
nothing
reach out.
legal.
How's the family doing? What's going on?
Business.
That's it.
Business.
Keep it focused on that, not that
So
you're just trying to get
you're gonna have
business.
to do your,
It'll flow. And you'll
household
see what I'm
stuff in
talking
the
about. Then the
day.
real estate comes up and you're just
you
like,
know,
dude,
you
this is
do
crazy.
morning.
Cause
I
one
called
you
5
go
people
home, you
without
do
even
your
trying to
stuff,
talk
go
real
out, do
estate.
whatever,
3 of
then
them are
prepare
talking
that
real
you
estate.
gotta have.
yeah,
It's what works.
yeah. Cause at the end of the day, like, they know what you do.
Of course.
If they have questions,
No,
they'll
I
ask you.
tell you, that's
Some
the
avoid you don't take
reality
it
of
personal. It's
Yeah.
okay.
real
And you just keep following
top
up, but
producers.
keep your list,
They don't get it
work through
because
them,
it's free. Like
make
if
your
they-
calls.
they
And then
go
I
like,
start
wait,
thinking
no,
of like,
it's
okay, who do I need to get in
is.
touch with? And telling you
is.
referrals on listings, crazy.
Yep.
Yep.
Calls to make.
We're done.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
no problem. Thank you guys. Thank you, Sheila. Sorry we didn't get to open your mic up. Hopefully you got some.
Yeah, no, totally. Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, what's up?
So next week I'm going to start coming into the office a
Awesome.
lot more, and thank you so much for the questions. I did journal all of it, and
Good.
so with the challenges, I'm really going to need to be hooked up with a mentor.
Okay.
If we can start brainstorming about that, maybe next we
Yeah.
can talk about it more, and who might be a good fit. But I'm definitely gonna need a solid kick in the
Okay.
ass mentor who's gonna like who no for real, because I'm like the smart one. I could have been a lawyer, I could have been all that, but I'm chicken shit when it comes to like being a real salesperson and like
Right.
just getting out of like my just annoying mind that has fear about these dumb things that I know don't exist. But like anyway, so just that is was my big thing. And like, I mean, I last year I missed out on at least $5 million in sales in LA
Wow.
because I was being a secret agent. I don't know how to connect without being fake and
Right.
yada yada.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, if you guys could hook me up with a good mentor for me, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
And
let's talk next week. Let me know what time you have and we'll sit down and once I get a better idea where you need help with, then I'll try to see what could be a good fit for you.
yeah, and the more I listen to you guys, my God, the more like it's just like I am in the right place with the right mentality. I think the
Good.
same way you guys do, so it's perfect.
Awesome.
Like I said, honestly, the best way to put it, I'm just being chicken shit. I'm just like so like I'm scared of rejection. I'm scared of people. I'm like when it comes to contracts and negotiating, I'm a shark. Like I
Yeah.
am, but like
Good.
when it comes to getting the deal, that's a whole different story. Like canvassing, cold calling, that's my
Right.
little hiccup, which is
It's
not a
all
little
right.
hiccup. It's
No,
a big,
it's the hardest part in our business. So we'll
yeah.
talk about it and you are at the right place. So we'll figure it out.
Sweet. So I'll be there Tuesday, and then yeah, what is it? What is the best way to contact you? Is it through the app or?
You have my cell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just shoot me a text and then we'll touch base.
Okay, sweet. All right. So I'll see you guys next week.
All right,
I'm
Sheila, you take
scared.
care.
I still haven't just give you a little like I haven't even done my business cards. That's how much I'm like dragging my feet since September
Well,
when I signed up with you. Like that's
right.
how honest I'm being, dude. Like,
Well, let's get on it. So we
all
got a lot
right.
to do. All right,
Okay.
Sheila.
All right. Love you. And I'm
All right,
so
love you
sorry for your
too.
loss. Happy New Year.
Thank you. You take care.
Okay.
All right,
Okay. I'll see
bye-bye.
you soon. Bye.